Kategate. Will Harry go to see the Princess of Wales? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Following the news that the Princess of Wales has a cancer diagnosis and receiving treatment, there's been an understandable outpouring of support and sympathy for her. Naturally, William, demonstrating considerable emotional empathy for his wife, has been considerably supportive. But what's the stance of Harry? Well, as Rory Tingle wrote recently in the Daily Mail, posed the question, will Harry fly back to see the sister-in-law he was once so close to? It remains to be seen whether Prince Harry will fly back to the United Kingdom to be with the Princess of Wales after she announced her shock cancer diagnosis. The Duke of Sussex, 39, described Kate as the big sister I never had when she became engaged to William 11 years ago. But their relationship has fractured following the bitter aftermath of Megxit. Harry returned almost immediately to London last month when his father, King Charles, phoned him to inform his son about his own cancer diagnosis, before the pair had a brief meeting at Clarence House. Kate last met Harry in September 2022, when they joined their spouses on a surprise walkabout at Windsor following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Supporters of the royal family will hope Kate's health problems could prompt a reconciliation between the warring couples, but this seems a distant dream. Kate announced that she has been diagnosed with cancer and is undergoing preventative chemotherapy. She asked for time, space and privacy in a deeply emotional public statement while she completes her treatment. Harry's decision about whether to fly to the United Kingdom from Montecito to be with Kate is likely to be heavily influenced by the kind of welcome he expects to receive. In his memoir, Spare, Harry described hearing about William and Kate's engagement in November 2010 and saying how he would take her under his wing, or she'll probably be taking me under her wing. The personal bond between the pair appeared to grow after the marriage. A 2016 report by the Daily Mail detailed how when Harry was in the army, he visited William and Kate in Anglesey, in their 5-bedroom rented farmhouse on Sir George and Lady Mayrick's estate. There, the trio enjoyed local pubs, high teas and hearty suppers after long walks on Anglesey's beaches, away from the public eye. A strong, sisterly bond was cemented with the at times lonely Harry, a source said. There's no doubting the bond the trio had, and that it might be said that Harry had something of a crush on his sister-in-law. They were often seen joking together, and William and Catherine both embraced the presence of Harry. They made him very much part of their family. They didn't exclude him. There are, however, two issues surrounding whether old Ginger Bollocks will make that flight across the ocean to see Catherine. The first is whether his handler will let him. The second is whether he's actually wanted. Let's break those down. Harry does have emotional empathy for his sister-in-law. It hasn't been in particularly great supply as of late, with the comments that he made about her in Spare, but we all know who egged him on to do that for the purposes of asserting control by way of smearing this one's wife. Her cloven hooves were all over the content of Spare, and thus she utilised that organ as an opportunity to assert control over a variety of people, including the Princess of Wales. Harry, dimwit that he is and easily controlled, allowed himself to be the mouthpiece of this one's wife through that publication, and further damaged the relationship between him and his sister-in-law and William. The fact is that even though he did that, he still would want to be supportive to his sister-in-law. He has a fondness for her. That hasn't changed, it just hasn't been seen as much. And the reason being is that this one's wife demands his attention, his fuel. that he's not allowed to have that relationship with his sister-in-law and brother because those two have been painted black by this one's wife, and this one's wife sees that they interfere in her control of Harry. There's quite an interesting photograph that was taken on the balcony at Buckingham Palace a number of years ago. It shows Harry talking to Catherine. William stood in between the two of them. They're sort of slightly leaning backwards, talking across his back. Harry's smiling, Catherine's smiling, and then stood to one side is this one's wife with the hand outstretched, prodding Harry, tugging on him, trying to get his attention. That sums up quite neatly the dynamics that's there, that Harry had an excellent relationship with Catherine. He enjoyed that relationship, and this one's wife couldn't stand it. Many other people would be pleased that their husband had a good relationship with his own brother and his sister-in-law, but not this one's wife. Harry's attention, his fuel, has to go to her and nowhere else. The fact is, this one's wife is hugely envious of Catherine, both in terms of the fact that she's going to be queen, her elegance, the way that she deals with people, and the way that she is regarded by so many people. This one's wife truly believes that should be her. And therefore, she has done her utmost to attack and smear and invalidate Catherine, and at the same time ensure that Harry's relationship with both his brother and sister-in-law has been damaged, making him easier to control. This one's wife would not provide her approval for him to travel on his own to the United Kingdom to see Catherine. Harry would want to come. He would want to go and see them. He would want to see if there was anything that he could do. But this one's wife would certainly be stamping her cloven hoof to prevent it, guilt-tripping him, doling out a pity play, dropping to the floor sobbing, shouting at him, saying, "Why do you run to her when you should be here with me and the children?" She will make life very difficult for him. That's not to say that he wouldn't go. He might turn and say, "No, I'm going, and you're just going to have to deal with it." After all, Harry does have some strong narcissistic traits himself, and ultimately may determine that he feels that he ought to go. But this one's wife isn't going to make it easy for him, and she's certainly going to lay down the law as his handler to prevent him from going. The second aspect as to whether Harry would actually attend is, would he actually be welcome? The British public seems to have a mixed opinion in relation to this. There are some that would think that it would be good for him to come and spend time with people, particularly when this one's wife wouldn't come, that he would be free of her toxic views for a period of time. Others say he's done the damage and it would be wrong for him to attend now, too little, too late. Furthermore, there will be questions of trust. How could you trust Harry to be semi-welcomed back into the fold by attending after everything that he said and done, and the fact that he's still involved with this one's wife? People would have to be extremely guarded about what they said, what they did, for fear of it being reported back to her and being leaked. Were it the case that he left her and was attending, that would be different. But he's still in a relationship with this one's wife, and people are mindful of that link that remains. The Mail reports through Catherine Lawton, the Prince and Princess of Wales have put the Harry problem to the back of their minds in the wake of Kate's cancer battle, and are understood to have no plans for a reconciliation during the Duke of Sussex's expected visit to the UK in May, and accordingly that would appear to be by extension should he decide to come earlier. Harry and this one's wife are believed to have made contact with William and Kate privately on Friday night, following the princess's video revealing she is receiving preventative chemotherapy. Although one does have to make the observation that it was so private it was immediately released by their PA to the world at large to let everybody know that they'd done it. It's not clear if the contact was a phone, video call or some message of support, while the possibility of whether Harry will fly back remains unknown. A royal expert claimed Kate chose not to tell Harry and this one's wife about her cancer because they can't be trusted. Harry is hoping to attend a service at St. Paul's Cathedral in London to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. The solo visit, likely without this one's wife and their 2 young children Archie and Lilibet, could be an opportunity to build bridges with his estranged brother William. Sources close to William and Kate have suggested that with both Kate and King Charles's cancer diagnosis, the Harry problem is the last thing on their minds. In effect, they've got much more important things to be focused on than whether they're going to make up with Harry. A royal source explained that William has always done all he can to protect his family, meaning he is focused on ensuring Kate's privacy and protecting their children. Accordingly, it's likely that Harry wouldn't be welcome. Not only is it the case that the royal family have got more important matters to attend to, irrespective of making things right with Harry, it's almost a case of, look, Harry, we've got bigger things on our mind at the moment. Appreciate that you want to come over, but now's not the time. William, of course, will be very, very difficult to persuade to accept his brother in light of the way that his brother has behaved and the things that he's said about William's wife. Harry, to my mind, wants to attend, because he does still care about Catherine, and he does have that essence of emotional empathy towards her. But I doubt that he will actually come before his attendance for the Invictus Games, quite simply because, firstly, this one's wife will make it a battle for him to do so, and secondly, it will be made quite clear that he's not particularly welcome, given what has gone on before, and the importance of focusing on other matters rather than the attention being about him coming over. Do you agree? Do you think Harry will still fly over regardless? Do you think Harry will stay away? Let me know your views in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.